Better hurry, spark it up with no worries. Harmonious gang with the big bro Yuriy. Hyphy, get lit just like me. Big bossed up, chop it up with Riley. You better come with it to kick rocks, cause you now tuned in to 10 Talks. Now let's get lifted and take a shot. You are now tuned in to 10 Talks.
Yo, what's up, guys?
Hey.
I wish it was a smooth transition out as well, but whatever, that works. Yo, what's up, guys? Oh, let's take a shot before we forget. It gets too awkward and quiet.
Here we go. Cheerios.
Cheers, everyone. Thank you to everyone who's joining this live. Thank you to anyone who's watching this later. Appreciate you guys so much. Shout out to the 10 Talks gang. Cheers to episode 124. All right, what is up, guys? Here we are once again, like I said, for episode 124, like always.
Ooh, nice.
Sorry.
My fave.
Sorry, we are doing this live, like always. And honestly, this time I feel like, unfortunately, I didn't have too much time to do like too much prep work, but I still have some shit I want to talk about.
Yeah.
Watch multiple movies.
Yes.
Well, you didn't want to watch my movies.
That's not true. That's not true.
Yeah, it is.
We just watch your movies hella late.
No, okay.
And I get tired.
No, we watch your movies hella late too, but I care, and you don't. That's the difference.
We were just into the movie.
Anyways, all right.
Movie was Your movie was way more like lighthearted.
No, it's not lighthearted.
I guess no, it's very.
It's not lighthearted
No, it's
at all.
not serious.
Yeah,
I
it's serious.
No,
It's pretty serious. It has to do with. We'll talk about it. It has to do with about an immigrant and his life and death and love. It's very serious. Much more.
It was a romantic comedy.
White Chicks is lighthearted.
No, yeah, White Chicks is hilarious.
We'll talk about that as well. But like always, guys, today's Sunday, and like always, we just spent the whole day cleaning up the house, getting the studio ready and stuff like that. But today I did finally go drop off the ashtray to the winner of the ashtray giveaway. Huge shout out again to Blasey and Nothing Personal for giving me one of the Bend Over Becky ashtrays to give away, because they cost like $100 or $110, and they're hella coveted. Like, people are like fucking, fiending to get one. They'll spend $400 or $500 on one. So I was super stoked and hyped that Blasey was like, yeah, man, you could do a giveaway with one of the products. He's like, I have a couple of them left over. You could use one of them to do the giveaway. And we ended up doing the giveaway. A whole thing unfolded between someone named Phil and then Quasi-No-Moto. I thought it was Quasimodo, but it's Quasi-No-Moto. And during the thing, it was like Phil was saying like, yo, he's like, I'll just give my ashtray to this person, blah, blah. And then I was like, all right, whatever. And then we did another continuation of the game. And then Quasi-No-Moto ended up winning it regardless. But, things still ended up like not working out the best, I guess, for some people. But either way, Quasi-No-Moto still, he ended up winning it technically. And the, original quote unquote winner, Phil, was still going to give it to him regardless. So he got his ashtray today. And also Blasey hooked it up with an additional little keychain as well, because he's like, I was telling Blasey last time, Blasey was trying to, every time we finished Reconnected, everyone's just trying to go home because it's late, everyone's tired. And last time I was like, yo, Blasey, like, please, before you go home, I was like, can I grab that ashtray? And then he was just and then at first he was like, come on, like, let's do it another time. I was like, bro, like, this dude's already been waiting a week and a half. I was like this, he's probably gonna be calling me a scammer real soon. I was like, can I grab it tomorrow or some shit? And then shout out to Blasey, he's like, all right, he's like, if that's the case, he's like, let me go over here. And he's like, give him this as well, and he gave the keychain as well. So let's go.
That's fire. But no, I was gonna say that in your defense, during that whole situation, the whole chat was just saying like, let's just do one last round.
Yeah.
For the game. It was a stream, so it was like there was no set rules. I can understand where you're like, damn, I had it in my hand, but all together was like kind of a group effort where everybody's playing in on it as well,
A lot of my giveaways are like that. Like,
and at least
constantly changing.
Nobody paid to get in as well.
Exactly.
If people were getting paid or were paying to get in, I could see where people would get upset.
Yeah, exactly. It was a completely just like talent show type giveaway. But like I said, the original dude said he was going to give it to this dude regardless. But then later on, I feel like he just felt like he got gypped because I had continued the challenge, even though he was willing to give up with the
I
item
know, he was going to
regardless.
give it to him
So
anyway.
I want to find a way to take care of that dude. And also, if that dude is watching, shout out to Phil. I really do appreciate you, man. I want to get you taken care of. But he sent me like a whole like bunch of messages that I didn't have a chance to reply to. Like I opened it, and here's the thing: is like, guys, when I'm going through my DMs, like it's sometimes I'm in a car or doing something random. I'm like, oh, let me just see if I can just reply to a couple DMs, and I'm thinking they're like one question, like a question or like a a compliment or just like a one word thing, and then like when I open up something like a bunch of paragraphs, and I'm like, oh, this is gonna take some reading and responding to, and I'm in the wrong moment, I'm gonna have to like open it and close and be like, all right, I'm gonna respond to it later. But honestly, recently, like, guys, I used to really have a lot of time to, I feel like, go through my DMs, but recently just like I go through my DMs like once every 3 days now. It's so hard. It's continuous. And then once I reply to a whole chunk of DMs and I'm trying to get to the bottom, those people see I replied, then they start replying back, and then I'm just like stuck in this loop of just like, oh my god,
It's overwhelming.
I'm never getting out of it. It's super overwhelming, and I feel bad because like I'll be scrolling way like, huge shout out to You Ain't Hardful. I'll be scrolling way down. I'll be like, what the fuck? Like You Ain't Hardful DM me a week ago, and I didn't even see this shit. Like what the fuck? So I don't know. It's like a very terrible communication system. I just gotta start giving my phone number out, but I'm scared.
Fuck no.
I need like a business phone number. I feel like that's why people have that. A business phone. Call my business phone.
That's weird.
Well, you're not going to trust me with the business phone?
That's just weird.
How's that weird?
My business phone.
Yeah, it's like, would I give someone my personal phone number that like...
Just do Google call.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's a business phone or business phone number,
Yeah,
I guess.
there.
I don't know.
Use that.
But either way, ashtray has been fucking given away, and I'm super juiced this guy got one because he was like ashing into a jar lid or something like that last time. So he actually no, he had an actual ashtray. He had a glass ashtray.
It was like a mason jar.
But he was showing he had a mason jar full of blunts. And he's like, I'm ready for this ashtray. He's like, I got all these blunts and woods for this ashtray.
Got it.
Why are you looking at my mouth again?
I'm not.
I can see where your eyes are looking.
I'm looking at you.
It's my crooked teeth. Isn't
No,
it?
it's not.
Yeah,
I
it
wasn't
is.
even looking at your mouth.
Mm-hmm.
Bruh.
Also, apologies, guys, for starting this episode a couple minutes late today. I swear, bro, I'm not sure if it's anxiety or nerves, but sometimes, like, before a stream or before a podcast, like, I'm like, I gotta shit. All of a sudden, I'm like, oh my god. And then I just had to run to the bathroom and drop a couple pebbles. It wasn't even a lot. It was just like a little tick, tick, tick.
Little rabbits.
Little rabbit pebbles, basically. Rabbit pellets. And then I came out. Then someone else had to poop too. My cat. Whatever, never mind. Jesus
What?
Christ. You don't get it. Oh my god. I
fuck?
said someone else had to poop too.
Yeah,
And then I thought you would get
it.
mad, so I said my cat.
Bruh.
Oh my god, bruh. Jeez, explaining a joke makes it a million times worse.
I got the joke.
Why
And you
you act confused? You should have been like, that's not funny.
Because I'm trying to
just
play
like, what?
dumb.
Don't play dumb.
Because you're saying the joke.
Oh my god. All right, whatever. Jesus Christ. What did we do? What did we do this week? What did we do on Friday?
Friday?
Friday we were supposed to meet up with Pollard and Allie for the stream, and
Yuri was hungover.
And bro, people have been giving me shit about this fucking delayed hangover thing. But haven't you had that before?
What?
Like a delayed hangover where like maybe like you feel good until 3 p.m. and then once 3 p.m. hits, you're like, oh fuck, like now I'm feeling kind of shitty.
Not really.
Yeah.
I start feeling like shit at like 6 a.m.
I know. Usually I do too. And you literally are one of the people why I came up with the fucking delayed hangover theory is because it's happened to me before where like Riley and I like other than on Friday, Riley and I have like probably drank too much one day and then the next day I feel fine, and then like 3 p.m. hits or 4 p.m. hits, I'm like, oh fuck, like I feel dehydrated, my head hurts, I feel crazy, and end up having taken a nap. And I've told you this before, like a month or two ago, I've told you the same thing has happened, and I was like, dude, like it feels like a weird thing where my hangover hits later, and you were like, you never had that before? Like it happens sometimes.
No. I did not say that.
I swear.
Fuck no.
Must have been someone else then.
Yeah, must have been.
Really, dude?
I do not remember saying that.
All right, every time I say really, do, you gotta take a shot.
Fuck no, we're gonna get fucking faded. Than a hoe.
Oh my god, but
yeah, no, I
yeah.
really don't remember saying that.
That's how I
Usually
came
for
up with the
me,
theory.
it does start at like 6 a.m.
Usually
and I'm
for
like
me,
yakking all day.
usually for me, you know what it starts with is like laying in bed for too long. Then after I'm in bed for too long, like my head just starts hurting, and then once my head starts hurting, I get out of bed, boom, my head hurts for the rest of the day. But I swear on Friday, guys, it was my niece's last day in LA. And also on Thursday, when I was making the promises and we were coming up with the idea of what we're gonna do, I was lit as fuck on Discord, and I was not thinking like, oh, tomorrow's my niece's last day. I'm probably gonna want to spend some time with her, and and like before she just dips, and then like I'm not gonna probably see her for a couple months, you know what I mean, like, or who knows how long now. So I didn't like really think about that because I was probably too lit. And then the next morning came around, I realized it was like my niece's last day, so we spent some time with her. Then when she left, I swear, like when she left, I just started feeling like hella nauseous, and like my head just started hurting, and I was just like feeling like shit, and I couldn't do anything, and I was just like, bro, like I need to lay down, basically.
Yeah, he was over it. He did not want to cancel.
And I was like literally like bringing it up where I was like, dude, like I need to be able to go. But then I just kept thinking about feeling the weight. Imagine feeling nauseous and shit, and like you want to be like kind of like laying and chill and not very shaky, and being in a go-kart doing this. I was like, bro, like I need to lay down. Like I feel hella sick right now. And basically it wasn't until like 5 or 6 p.m. that I started feeling okay. And Toke was literally telling me the day before, he's like, we have to meet up by noon because I have something to do at 5 or 6 p.m. So it ended up just not working out. I felt super shitty about it.
But yesterday,
Oh, yes, we got to meet up with them a little bit. Yesterday, I'm still dealing with the effects. I keep telling
Yuri's ass is in pain right now.
Riley, it's like, you won't see the bruises, and it's not like I'm limping, but I swear, dude, my ass, huge pause, I guess, but like my ass, if you're a real biker, you'll know what I'm talking about. My ass is sore, dude. It's just like a little tiny toilet ring. Like imagine you're sitting on a tiny little toilet bowl. You know how like when you're sitting on a big toilet bowl for like 30 minutes, or like your ass, like you just feel the imprintation. Imagine it's like this big, and then you're sitting on that the whole time, and then you get up, you're like, oh, what the fuck? That's literally how I feel this whole day. And basically the reason why I feel like that is because I had this huge plan for Monday, right? For tomorrow, I had this plan of doing a biking stream where I go from point A, from Venice Beach to Circus Liquor in the valley. And to do that whole trip, it's like 20 miles, and it will take about 3.5 hours. But I wanted to do the stream tomorrow where I do this trip that should take me 3.5 hours uninterrupted, but I have donation markers that, once someone donates an X amount, I got to go back a mile. I got to go back 2 miles, and then I can continue on my journey. So it's a thing where they can like keep sending me back, and the stream will either end at the 24-hour mark, which will mean that I'm biking in LA for 24 hours, 3-4 in the morning, type shit, or the stream would end either once we hit 24 hours or once I reach my destination. And I was really thinking, I was like, dude, guys, I've biked so much, bro. Like, if you know anything about LA, I've biked from 93rd or 94th Street to, or like, it was like 100, it was like somewhere around 90th and 100th Street, or like 110th Street. It was like from around there in Maine all the way back to Hollywood, bro. Like, that bike is so far. I've done like huge bike rides. I've gone to Venice. I've gone like 100th in Maine before. I've gone like so many like bike trips but it was a long time ago that I did this, when I had a lot of experience and my body was used to it. Yesterday I biked from Hollywood to Venice, and bro, like my back hurts today. Like, it feels like one of my knobs on my back, how there's like little bones and shit, like feels like one of them is swollen, and it hurts when I touch it.
Oh god,
my ass is all sore. I was telling Riley my wrist hurts, and I'm just like, fuck, dude, like, could I do this for 24 hours tomorrow? I really don't know.
I mean, that was only like 4 hours.
That was 4 hours,
stream.
20 more hours of that. I was telling Riley, I would have to put like a blanket on my seat or something.
Yeah, maybe get back to the drawing board. I'm scared for you too.
Well, here's the thing: is with my streams, I always have to try to like make it work somehow. You know what I mean? Like, I want to make the stream work, but realistically, honestly, like I can't underestimate the chat sometimes, and I've done that literally fucking basically every time. And I can't underestimate the chat sometimes, where in my head I'm thinking like, I'll probably make it there in like 5-6 hours or some shit like that. But there's really a chance that like I could just keep getting sent back, and the next thing you know, I'm just pedaling for fucking 24 hours. And now, like, I really don't think that my body can handle it. I'm not a fucking Olympian. You know what I mean? Like, there's cyclists who probably will bike for 10 hours and be like fucking beat.
Yeah.
It's like 24 hours of fucking constant cycling is a little insane. But so that's what I was thinking, like, how can I manipulate the stream tomorrow to like for it to be feasible? And I was thinking like maybe I can do just $1 a minute outside. But then Riley was thinking like, what's gonna happen to you from midnight to 5 in the morning? I was thinking like just bike around Hollywood the whole time. There's multiple police stations. I could just like go police station, police station, police station.
Yeah.
Just make a Bermuda Triangle of police stations.
Jeez.
So, like, I still want to do my original stream idea of point A to point B, check and send me back. But I think so that people don't call me a scammer, so that I'm not taking 5-hour breaks, so that like I'm actually able to accomplish the goals, I think I need to like train more. Or honestly, you know what I could really do is like with the 24-hour stream is like I could really just take multiple breaks. But at the same time, like I'm saying, my ass is so pause. I keep saying this, but my ass is so sore right now.
Your
that
ass is so fat.
even if I biked for like an hour right now, like it'd be worse than yesterday because I'm like biking on top of a bruised butt.
Your tailbone's bruised.
No, it's like my gooch area. It's the fucking.
Oh.
It's like imagine when you're sitting on a bike seat. Where's all
It's
the
your
point?
pelvis.
It's like right under your nutsack. That shit hurts. Either way, bro, this is the difficulty.
Well, yeah,
of, like,
I guess you're just gonna have to think about it and make your choice tonight.
I know that's the hard part. I have to like make my choice tonight, and like I've brought this up before, like you know during when I went on the Sharp Tank. It's like. You know, I do get inspiration not nowadays because like Mr. Beast has switched up his content a lot nowadays. I feel like, bro, there's so many people I've met, you know, recently who are like, oh, you're into YouTube, like, and they want to get into YouTube. And they're like, do you know this guy named Mr. Beast? Like, and they'll explain to me who they think Mr. Beast is, and they explained like Mr. Beast 2018 past. I'm like, no one really even knows how he got started, which was with basically like, I'm not trying to go on a whole self-torture tour here, but he was doing things where it's like listening to the same song for fucking 12 hours, counting to 100,000, doing this, doing that. And recently Riley and I watched one of his videos where like he like made a little island, like a little fucking plank of wood. Basically, it was pretty big. It's like maybe the size of half a basketball court, and just put it in the middle of the ocean. He's like, I'm spending a week out here. And then like as
Raft.
like a raft. And as he was going through it, he's like, bruh, like I felt like, oh my god, dude, Jesus. Oh wait, hold on, we gotta mute this, dude.
Chaji dropped a bag of $2.
I'm sorry, Antaji. We will replay all donos once we go into the after show. I don't know why he does that because I don't even have that thing said here. But either way, I was gonna say once we were watching that video, I was like, bro, like this is how I felt during the Gulag stream. Like, it's like you have to put yourself into those moments sometimes where just like things are out of your control. You know what I mean? Like you can't, if you're always in control of your content of like what's happening to you, then it becomes too safe or like too like, why am I even watching this? Like I know nothing uncomfortable is gonna happen to him. But like when it's like a Gulag stream where things are just out of your control for a second, like I said, that raft stream, he really was like, bro, I regret doing this.
Yeah.
He's like, I should have done a 50-hour thing.
People just also like to see people in pain for some reason.
That's true. But also,
or just to come out of like a struggling moment, I feel like. Because they want to see them complete the challenge.
I'm telling you, like...
But it's just like, yeah, all the random in-betweens
just
that
like,
make it interesting.
Just like in Love Island, and we see the arcs of people where like at one point most hated,
yeah, the character
to
arcs.
most liked, to most hated, and then like, you know, to just a normal person again, and then like the arcs of the types of characters switch depending on what they've done and like what happens in the series. The same thing happens like, you know, the long ice streams I remember is like, you know, shit starts and like at one point you're like, I don't like this guy, like this guy's hella lame, and then you get to the end of the fucking 1 week stream and you're like, okay, that dude is kind of like the most real in here at the whole time.
Yeah.
If you really think about it, you know.
Exactly, yeah. People's or your opinion on people just kind of
because you see how people actually like react to shit, you know what I mean? Like it's so hard, like guys, honestly, like I constantly am in my head about like wanting to do better about how I react to negative news and negative stuff. Like the biggest example I have of this is like I haven't even talked to this guy in so long, man, but like with this dude Jante that I went to UCSB with a long ass time ago. And dude, we went there for like 2-3 days. Went there, had a great time. He didn't complain once. We came back, and then on our 4-hour drive back, he's like, "Hey guys, I didn't want to bring this up." He's like, "I didn't want to bring this up because I didn't want to bring the mood down and bring the vibe down for the weekend." But he's like, on our trip to Santa Barbara, he's like, "I lost my wallet and I had like $600 in cash," and he was like, "That was all my money for the weekend." So he's like, "I've kind of been broke this whole weekend," but he's like, "I just didn't want to bring it up to bring anyone's vibe down." And I was like, if I had lost my wallet of $600 on my way to like a weekend, I'd be like, my life is over, dude. Like, what am I gonna do? Like, water, food, like tripping, like. And he was just like free balling it. And then he just came back. He's like, "Yeah, I just didn't want to bring it up." He's like, "I just took the L." And I was just like, I wish I could like, you know, be like that sometimes, of just like not letting life affect you so much, you know.
Same. Yeah, I understand that.
Like, I feel like the biggest example. I'm not religious at all, but the biggest example is like Riley and I were watching like this Appalachian video of this dude who, he's not even Appalachian, but like lives in Appalachia. We talked about it last episode as well, and he was giving this example. We told you guys to watch it last time, so I don't feel bad spoiling the story now, but we told you guys to watch if you guys wanted to. He gave this good story, including his animals, and like how this dude asked him like, "What have you learned from your animals?" And one of the, you know, best things I got from that episode was like, you know, like I said, I'm not religious, but he was saying, you know, just like God will look at a human and want a human to do the right thing and not go down the wrong path and do the right thing and all that stuff. Like, imagine every time you did the wrong thing in life, God fucking beat you or slapped you or pushed you or like just physically assaulted you or something like that. But he's like, he doesn't. He just lets you go along your way and like lets you figure it out, right? And he's like, and he was applying that to his animals. And he was like, my cow, like, or horse or whatever it is, he's like, my horse, I'll try to get my horse to plow the fields and plow it straight. He's like, he kept going in these crooked angles, and he's like, I was yelling at my horse and shit. And he's like, next thing you know, he's like, you know, God isn't yelling at me, even though when I make the wrong choice, he's like, why should I should be more patient with my horse, like God is with me. And it's like I said, I'm not religious, but I was like, that's a good message. That's a good message of like, you know, just realizing that like, you know, life, if life was the way you wanted it, your friends and family would all, you know, not pass away, be incredibly wealthy. Like, if we all had life the way we wanted it, it would be the way it is. We're living in a world where it's like life isn't the way we want it. We just have to get used to it and just deal with it, basically, constantly.
Yeah. How did we even get to this?
I forgot.
This deep level.
I forgot. But, guys, one thing, like I said, that we always start off 10 Talks with was, like, movie reviews. And this week we actually watched one movie for sure, but we watched.
That's just like a silly movie you could just throw on and whatever.
Yeah, but notice how we watched the whole thing.
Yeah, because it's just funny and easy to watch. I'm good.
But basically, we this week we watched White Chicks. I'm sure a lot of people watched White Chicks, but I haven't watched it in a minute. And first thing I got to take away from it is like, you know, they're just so like bad. Like, I don't know, what year was that?
Probably like 2003 or one
or three or something like that, between there, 2000 to 2005. But they were not afraid to they made a joke about every culture.
Every single
Russian
culture.
people, Indian people, Mexican people, black people, like everyone got it. Like no one was like left untouched. And like some of the jokes I was just like, damn, like what the fuck, like this is. Like, it's so weird because I feel like we're so used to, like, how, you know, filtered everything is that we're, like, I don't even remember how unfiltered shit used to be, but, you know.
Them singing in the car.
Exactly, like, what are their names? The actors? I forgot their names.
The Wayans brothers?
I forgot, but, like, the dudes who are pretending to be white girls, they're in they're in the car, they start playing this, like, rap song, and then like, they say the N-word, and all the girls are like, oh my God, you can't say that. And they're like, so?
Nobody's around.
And then they get the whole car to all say it. And I was just like, bro, like, what the fuck? This is crazy. I thought that was insane. And then the next scene was
now that joke's even funnier.
The next scene was, I forgot what it was. It was like the big dude who was just like trying to like sleep with one of like the girls who's like dudes who pretending to be a girl. He's like trying to sleep with the girl basically, and he's talking to this guy and he's like, how can I get this girl to sleep with me? And the dude tells him, yo, just put a couple of these in her drink and she'll be ready. And he's like, yeah, go for it. And there was like no negative undertone. It was just like, yeah, put some pills in her drink and she'll be ready. And he was like, let's do it.
There was negative undertone.
Well, they ended up like, having a gay night or some shit like that. But
they like.
But it's mostly about how normal it felt. Like that's just how normal it was. You know what I mean? Even one of the girls was like trying to get into a talent show. She's like, who do I have to sleep with to get into the show? And the dude's gay. He's like, you're barking up the wrong tree here. But it's like, it just shows you, if it's a joke, it must be pretty normal. You're not going to make a joke about some niche thing that happens once. You're going to make a joke that a lot of people can relate with. A girl just sleeping with anyone to get on the talent show or whatever it was. Or the fucking drip show. The fashion show.
The drip show? Oh my God.
Yeah, I'm on Reconnected. Don't blame me. And then also the other thing I said. Gee, I can't think of words sometimes, dude. Fashion show. I know.
Fashion show.
Runway model thing.
It's a fashion show, babe.
Jesus Christ. But then also, like the fucking putting a pill in the drink thing. I was just like, bro, they made it like such a casual. Like Rick Ross, right? Who's the rapper who got like damn near canceled for it?
I have no clue.
I think it was Rick Ross. He like made a song where he was like, put a pill in a drink or some shit, and like Adidas like canceled with him, and like a bunch of companies stopped fucking with him. He got like everyone was mad at him because they're like, that's crazy. It is kind of crazy at the end of the day. Why would you drug some? I don't know.
Yeah, that's wild. Promoting that is wild.
Exactly, but
I'm just saying, like, that movie is just straight up comedy. Like that. Even though it is corny, like it's just a corny, like all the jokes are a little corny. It's done so well. Like their timing is just so funny, and everybody in there is good actors. I feel like that just hits every time. Like that's what I miss about movies.
I know, they're just like
it's not like that now. It's extra corny where it's not even funny.
I feel like it's because I feel like back in the day, for sure, a lot of boundaries were overstepped, but I feel like it's because that like availability to overstep the boundaries was there, that like some people would like, like make some great movies eventually. You know what I mean? Like White Chicks, we can all agree it's like a pretty good classic. You know, it's like it's very funny. But now I don't remember all the fucking jokes they had, and now looking back on it, I'm like, I can't imagine this show coming out now.
I know.
I forgot what they had. I forgot what she called. Did you catch the Russian thing?
No, I forgot.
I forgot what she called Russian people. I was like, what? I was like, I didn't even heard that slur.
Oh, I forgot. Yeah, Russian mule or something like that.
I was like, I understood it immediately, but I was like, I never even heard that Russian slur in my life.
I was like, whoa.
She's like, you fucking Russian bubble. I was like, what the fuck? I was like, I never even heard that. But I see how that slur makes sense, I guess. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, that was crazy.
How did it end again? Oh, yeah, you know what's funny is like one of the
white party.
One of the key points that I remember from White Chicks, that like it's like always when you learn new things, is I feel like when I like remember stuff, is I never knew what a hangnail was. Never even heard the term. And that scene where she's like eating dinner and she goes and fucking rips her nail off. I was like, what the fuck is a hangnail?
Oh, also one thing we realized is we kept pausing it. Like when they were doing the dancing scene and they're all break dancing, you could hella see like their stunt doubles or whatever. During it was hella funny. We're like, that is not them. It was like some white guy.
I used to not pay attention to that stuff.
With the wig
but
on.
Ever since I would watch like YouTube reviews of when like people are like roasting or like reviewing old movies, they would pause it on the stunt double parts where people are doing dangerous or cool stuff, and they'd be like zooming on the face. I'm like, who is this? This is not even, doesn't even look close to the main actor. And like the same thing was happening in White Chicks, where when they're breakdancing, spinning on the floor, if you pause it and zoom in, it's like they don't have makeup, no lip, it's just a white dude.
It was so funny.
It's just a white dude fucking breakdancing all of a sudden. But I guess you don't notice it because it's just so quick.
Yeah, that's a classic.
But yeah, we watched that movie. But before we watched that movie, Riley and I have always been doing this thing where we just go back and forth showing each other movies, but recently it's kind of turned into a little bit of an argument, surprise, surprise, that I try to show Riley a movie and I was getting personally offended because when you watch a movie, you're supposed to consume you're supposed to like get lost in it. Like even like movies that I don't like, I think this is corny, I think the message is corny, blah, blah, blah. Like this, I'm the type of person where, like, even if I know I might not like the movie because of what people have told me about it, I will watch it and try to submerge myself into the movie to understand what the director and the actors are trying to portray, and then I'll leave the movie going like, okay, I get that, but I still think like this, or maybe they changed my mind or whatever it is. Like I try to enter it like an open mind, basically.
Right.
If you're pausing it and then watching it the next day from the same point, and then pausing it, then going to the bed, then sleeping, then waking up, and then fucking continuing, it's like it's over. The movie's over. You're not getting no message.
Well, in my defense, the first day we watched it in 3 times or 3 days or 2.
3 days. It took us 3 days to finish.
Every time we watched it,
Moscow on the
it was
Hudson.
so late, and I was tired as hell.
We've watched a lot of your movies late as hell, and I stay up to that.
Okay, but be real. Do we watch more of your picks or mine?
Honestly, to be real, like I can't remember a ton of the shit you showed me, but a lot. Dude, we got to Game of Thrones damn near because of you. I did not choose to watch Game of Thrones. We spent like 4 months of our life submerging.
I
Game of
didn't
Thrones
watch it ever though.
Me neither. But you were like, we should get into it.
But here's
guess
your
what? I got into 4 months of a thing. That's 4 months of content that you put me. I'm not mad about it. I'm happy.
Here's the thing with the Game of Thrones. I wanted, because Yuri has a thing where every movie he has shown me is a movie that he has seen before. He never wants to watch like a new movie together. And so I was like, we need to watch something that both of us haven't seen. And that's why I was like, let's try to watch Game of Thrones. And we ended up loving it.
I agree. But also, just like I'm saying, White Chicks, before yesterday, when I thought of White Chicks, I thought of the scene where the dude's in the car, making my way downtown.
Yeah.
That's all I remember. That's all I fucking can remember. All I can remember is hangnail, or what's it called?
The toenail?
The toenail scene, and making my way. Like that's all I can remember. I didn't remember when we first started watching it. I was like, when they were like pretending to be Indian and like
no, they're Mexican.
Or like Mexican, and they were like in the ice cream shop or whatever it is. I was like, wait, is this like some alternate universe? I didn't remember anything. Like rewatching it was almost like watching it for the first time. And when I'm trying to show Riley movies from my childhood, I'm like telling her, I don't remember this movie scene by scene. And then when a naked scene pops up, she's like, oh, this is why you wanted to watch it. I'm like,
Bruh.
I don't remember this.
Oh my god, dude.
But
Why?
also, a lot of the movies I bring up, I try to show you, I think are older movies, where I feel like maybe that's just a thing of older movies as well, is the naked scenes.
Mm-hmm.
But either way, yeah, the movie I tried to show Riley, or we ended up watching basically, was Moscow on the Hudson. And we ended up watching it because one day we were talking about Robin Williams, and we were talking about Robin Williams movies, and I was like, hey, have you seen this movie? And I never even heard that movie, but when Robin Williams passed away, I was just like doing a little bit of research on him, and I was like, what movies has he been in? And then I saw he was...
What movies has he been in?
I haven't seen all his movies, like, like I only seen probably a couple, and I was like...
You've seen probably a lot.
And I just like looked it up, and I was like, I never even heard of Moscow on the Hudson, so I was like, one day I was like, okay, I'll watch it, just because I'm Russian. This is about a Russian dude who fucking comes to America, like, as an immigrant. Same story here, but not exactly the same, obviously. But I was like, interested in it, so I ended up watching it because of that reason. And I did not remember everything in it, especially that scene that I'm talking about, the bathtub scene.
Bruh. Okay. Can you stop?
All right, sorry.
Jesus Christ.
We're just talking about the movie.
Sake. And yeah, let's talk about the movie.
Either way, I feel like you guys should watch it. It's about Robin Williams, who's like a jazz player in Russia, and this is during USSR, before the Soviet Union fell apart, and the Soviet Union would send out circus acts and different acts to different countries, but they can go to other countries, do the performance, and they would have to be completely controlled and looked after, and then they would have to return right back to Russia immediately, right after the show. And basically, Robin Williams was playing, he was a part of a circus act playing the saxophone, came to New York, and then he decided to dip out from the tour group and stay in America. And like, it's about him, finding love, finding jobs, making his way in America and shit. I think it's really interesting. It's cool.
I thought it was really good too. I thought the story was very cute. I don't know. Okay, so I think the thing where it was kind of hard for me to get into it is where it was Robin Williams doing a Russian accent. And so it's like, I don't know, it was kind of... It kind of just felt hard to get into because I just know Robin Williams.
I
like,
had the same thing.
That's the genie. Come on, like.
Yeah, I had the same thing.
I love that. He did a great job.
It would have made more sense if he was actually Russian.
That's what I was thinking.
But when doing the accent at points. I was like,
They should have had like a Russian actor, or
He did a
I
good
don't know.
job, though.
He did a great job, but
Yeah.
it's just he has just that. He's just such an iconic actor, where it is kind of hard to see him in a different ethnicity, I guess.
Or honestly, it's like a lot of famous actors have that thing where you see some dude who's fucking Spider-Man, and then you see him in another movie. You're like,
Exactly.
I can't unsee Spider-Man.
That's what I'm
him. That's
saying.
Spider-Man. It's like, why is he pretending to be a coffee guy? It's like, what the fuck? Like,
Yeah.
you know. So yeah, I know what you're talking about.
But he does a great job anyway.
Yeah, and also it's like that movie like really just reminded me of like, you know, he really came from Russia, where it's like everyone you meet is like Russian, and then like someone gets married and they're like, you know, you just immediately assume they're just marrying a Russian person, or maybe Ukrainian or something like that. It's like very close by. And then he comes to America, and then like immediately his just friends and social circle completely expands, where he knows a Cuban guy, a black guy, an Italian girl, like just like all these different types of people. And then he just like writing back home, and he's writing back about his experiences. I'm like, damn, like that is trippy. It's like, you know, that's probably like, you know, I was a kid. I basically grew up in America. It's like, that's why I'm like, I
Right.
feel American, but I was born in Russia. I just came here when I was 2. But I really feel like, you know, it's probably how my parents felt, and like other people probably always feel like from other countries, which is you come to this crazy huge melting pot. It's very unique.
Also,
Look at the whole world, you know?
I like that movie too, because it's another one where you actually can fall in love with the characters. Like, you're rooting for the love story. You want them to be together.
Yeah.
And the friendship he has with was he a doorman, or what was he? Like a valet driver?
Something like that. For Nordstrom's, I think?
Yeah,
I
something like
forgot.
that. Their friendship and like everything was just, it was like very touching, and I don't know, you love both of them.
Yeah. And what I really like is
Very heartwarming.
they touch on this one thing that, you know, like this conversation I've had with a lot of my Russian friends, which is like, you know, a lot of our parents who they're the ones who made the trip out here. Like, they were sold the American dream, which is come out here to America. It's going to be amazing, you know, opportunity, blah, blah, all that stuff. And yes, there is opportunities and all that stuff. But honestly, it's like, dude, in my Russian community, like there's a lot of Russian people that I grew up with. Dude, a lot of them ended up on drugs, in jail, doing a bunch of stupid shit, getting deported because they did illegal things and all that stuff. And then and one thing they depicted in that movie is like he comes out here, and then he gets a note back saying he's like, grandpa passed away, and he just like he had just got mugged, and he's like, you know, broke or some shit, and like his girlfriend had left him, and he's like looking around in his street, and it just like doesn't look super fancy or anything like that, and he's just like, damn, bro, like I left my friends and family, and you know, I'm missing their lives, fucking, you know, fleeting. Like, I just missed my grandpa's funeral, who he really loved and cared about, and he's like, just to trade it for this. And then he goes to a freaking like a cafe or some shit, and he starts like just bitching, going like, fuck America, like I hate this place. And there's some other Russian guy standing by, and the Russian dude's like, go back to Moscow then. He's like, go back, and he's like, wait in line for an hour for a piece of bread, for a piece of stale bread. He's like, go back, you know, go back to that lifestyle. He's like, it's amazing out here. And that's the shit that you always have to remind yourself about, is like, it sounds a little selfish, you know, but it's like, do you want to suffer together, or like, do you want to like have the opportunity for a better life for your kids and something you want to grow and shit like that? I don't know. It's such a tough decision.
It is.
Imagine, like, you know, how many people cross the Mexican border right now, in you know, from Texas and shit like that, from Mexico. Like, they have to make the same decision. How many people can't take their whole families with them? You know, maybe fucking, you know, grandpa's too old to like run or some shit like that, or something. You know, you just got to be like, deuces. Like,
yeah, it's hella sad.
Yeah,
dude.
exactly.
A lot of people do get separated from their family. Like, I do know a couple people whose kids live in Mexico, but their parents, or like one of their parents like works out in America, you know, and like they're just sending money to their kids,
and you can't even visit them because like you might be illegal. You don't want to risk crossing again or whatever it is. Then like you just separate that fucking, you just can't see each other basically, but it's for the better good. It's like, I don't know, huge sacrifice basically. So you got to give thanks, you know. Exactly. That's what I was like talking about with Riley the other day, is like, you know, sometimes I can get down on myself and just be like, oh man, like I'll feel like a loser and shit like that about like my position in life, and then I'll just hear stories of like my family in Russia like looking at me right now, and they're like, Yuri's living it up in America. Like, and like, even if like, you know, even when I was like working at the ice cream shop and shit like that, and I was like really just like super down in the dumps on myself, and they were just like, bro, like, you're in Hollywood. You spend every day in Hollywood. They're like, we would kill to be in Hollywood. They're like, it's like, they think it's so amazing and so cool, and like, you really have to be grateful. It's just like, you know, at the end of the day, what would happen if I was in Russia? It's like that sentimental like mystique would just fucking fade real quick. You get bored so soon.
Yep.
I visited for a month, I think, the last time, and for sure, at a certain point, you're like, dude,
you're over it.
I want a porcelain toilet.
Yeah.
I want normal
it's
cereal.
like, yeah, the everyday things that you take for granted.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right, let's take this shot before we continue. Also,
don't
guys,
miss out on that
reminder, we forgot to go to the P.O. box this Friday, but also reminder, guys, we have a new P.O. box. We used to have, we always promote the P.O. box and shit like that, but we were using this one address for a long time, but maybe about a month ago now, I would say we switched over to a new P.O. box. So every episode since like 123, I would say, has the updated address in the description. It is P.O. Box 11535, Burbank, California 91510. And if you guys have sent anything to our old address, don't worry, because it's gonna just transfer over, and we set up this thing, so it'll just go to the new address. But either way, apologies, we forgot to check it, but we will check it for next week. Cheers, guys, to making it halfway through the episode. But I was telling Riley that I'm pretty upset that we couldn't watch my movie all the way through. So I get to choose the next movie.
Okay.
No?
I don't care.
You said no, okay.
I said okay.
Wait, also, you know what I forgot to say in the beginning? I had in my notes, but my phone died. Happy birthday, house phone.
Happy birthday, house phone.
It's house phone's birthday. Happy birthday, house phone. And then
Let's
also,
go.
it's my homie's birthday as well today. I didn't get a chance to message him, but I think it's also his birthday today because I saw him post on Instagram. Shout out to Ran Off on the Plug twice. I've known him since he was a little kid, dude. It's so trippy. But
happy birthday.
Yeah, happy birthday to him as well. And also, yeah, huge happy birthday to house phone. I've known him for so long at this point. It's so crazy.
I feel like I've known him for a long time too.
It's so trippy because, yeah, like, even though Riley and I have been together like for over 3 years now, like, we still, like, I don't know, like, it just always just feels like the new relationship. Like, we're still, maybe that's faded a little bit, but like, it always feels fresh, or it just feels like we're still
Thanks,
just got together. You know what I mean?
I feel that too.
That's when people, like, will be like, oh, when are you guys getting married? I'm always just like, feels like we just got together, you know what I mean, like, type thing. Oh my god, really, not in a bad way, but like you're saying, like a fresh way. It just always just feels fresh.
That's good.
I guess.
No,
but
I'm just playing.
But
he was the first friend I met of yours.
yeah, I was. Oh yeah, we drove to a bar. Remember?
Mm-hmm.
We dropped him off at a bar.
No.
Yeah.
We didn't.
We didn't go together, or did we go all to go together?
No, we didn't go together. We just smoked outside the No Jumper office, and we went to a bar after.
Remember we took him to I forgot the name of the bar, but it was a long ass time ago.
That was not me.
That was you.
I did not.
That was literally you.
What bar did we take house phone to?
That was literally you. It was, oh my god.
I think I do remember this situation, but
Jesus,
I don't remember. That wasn't the first. Was it that
Ask
day?
house phone. I've never taken to a bar with any other girl.
I actually think it was that day. I think you're right.
That we smoked the night that we took him to a bar.
I think so.
Yeah.
But we did go to a bar after too.
Jesus, I hate when you do that, bro. It wasn't me. I have like a pretty good memory, and then also, guess what? I've never really like ran errands with girls.
Okay.
So like every time you say like, oh, you done this, I'm like, no, I haven't. I've done basically a lot of my like stuff with you.
Well, maybe you took house phone to a bar, but
we took house phone to a bar.
And now that I'm thinking back on it, I do remember.
Oh my god. Okay, yes, but either way, happy birthday, house phone. And what I was gonna say about the whole thing is, it's trippy that like, I think that Riley and house phone, like, they just met each other. No, you guys have already known each other for 3 years. I've known him for over 3 years now. It's like insane, dude. It's crazy. And I have to say that, like, I always tell him this, that I really appreciate his friendship. Like, House Phone, honestly, at the end of the day, is a really genuine good dude. There has been moments where, like, people can think that he could be a little forgetful or like non-caring or whatever it is, but like he for sure at the end of the day is like a caring person.
No,
like,
he cares about his friends.
If like there's things in life where, like, you could be distracted and like not really like understand the severity of a situation where you want to focus on it too much, or there's people where you get an ultimatum where, like, you get presented like, like a sacrifice this for your friends or family, or do this for a selfish thing just to make yourself better. I feel like House Phone would like always be the type of dude to like help other people and all that stuff. So too. Yeah, so shout out to House Phone.
Shout out House
Phone. I appreciate him a lot, and he's definitely dude, like, one of the reasons why I even have any type of relationship with the No Jumper audience at all was a huge thank you to House Phone and Cam Girl, to be honest. Is because like back in the day I was just behind the computer. I barely had a relationship with anyone. I talk, it was like hellos and goodbyes, and like we would smoke a blunt together maybe or something like that, but they would be the ones going like, Yuriy, get your goofy ass up on here or some shit like that. And like, they would be the ones like bringing me on camera and like making me a part of content.
Those were good times.
And stuff like that. And if it wasn't for, House Phone and Cam Girl, to be honest, it's just like, it's like, I feel like that, it wouldn't be possible, or things
you
wouldn't
really
be the way
started the No Jumper show early. Like, you would be like a guest like early on.
I know. It was like the first
like the
12, 13 episodes was the Cam Girl House Phone show.
That's crazy.
And then it turned into the No Jumper show.
How it's evolved.
I know. It's so crazy. I remember like one of the days, Lil Yachty had stopped by, and I was like, what? This is so trippy. I was like, what the fuck? Yeah.
That's crazy.
But it's so crazy, like, thinking back on all this stuff. You know what I mean? Like, you don't want to spend too much time dwelling on the past, positive and negative, because you could either get too hung up on the good times and like not make any more progress, or you can get too hung up on the bad times and like just get yourself down in the dumps. So it's like, it is good sometimes to like just sit back and like remember.
Those are good memories.
Yeah, exactly. Good memories. And just, so much shit has happened. It's crazy.
Yeah. Anywho.
Oh my god. Yeah, my phone died, so I didn't even get to write down the rest of my topics.
I thought you saved them.
Well, those are just like certain things, but all I have written down here is House Phone's birthday. And then also when I met with the dude Quasimodo to give him his ashtray, I filmed the whole video where I was like, yo, we're finally giving the ashtray to the winner. Congratulations, man. Here's this, like, blah, blah. He shouted some stuff out, and then, boom, my phone died. I was like, oh, my God. I was like, I hope it saves to drafts, and it didn't. So, Quasimodo, if you're watching this, bro, post something, tag Nothing Personal, Blasey and I, and, I will repost it. I'm sure Blasey will repost it as well. But either way, let's, I didn't test this out yet, so hopefully it works smoothly. Let's see. Okay, there we go. All right, guys. Kind of wanted to talk about this. We have a hairstylist in the building too, so we can get your opinion.
Okay.
Celebrity barber OTG Nick explains on the Mad Deep podcast why barbers' prices are going up and overcharging. And I've been seeing this as like a reoccurring trend that's been people are posting on Instagram, is like barbers charging $1,000, $1,500, $500, $800, like all these crazy prices. Yeah. And he says, so I guess this is a quote from him. He says, "Fools pay hoes $300 to get danced on at the club and not even fuck. They can afford to pay $150 for a haircut."
Okay, so here's my take on barbers in general. I
thought you were gonna say the barbs for some reason.
No, I 100% agree that you need to get paid what you're worth. 100%. And barbers work very hard. That shit is not easy. That is like a lot of skill and practice and talent and school.
The lineups and stuff.
Dude, like, that shit is not easy.
You have to get
like,
both sides like parallel. Like, it takes a certain eye for sure.
So I do agree that you should be charging a little more, but also barbers do need to think that your clients are constantly coming in, because a guy usually, like, some guys want their haircut every week, so you're constantly getting that money. So if you're putting your prices down a little bit,
you'll get more consistent
you're gonna get consistent clients that are always going to be there once a week.
Yeah.
And if you're really good, you're gonna do a haircut in like 30 minutes.
Yeah, I've heard like some people, some people who get haircuts, right? They'll complain saying if someone else got a haircut from the same dude and he paid him just without even asking, just gave him $400. You know what I mean? Like when I like imagine I had a barber, right? And I paid him $100 for a haircut. My homie, without even asking, gets a haircut, pays him $400. Now all of a sudden he tells me like, Yuri, price $400 too. I'm like, you just fucked up the whole thing. It was $100. No one was complaining. You just upped up the price just because you're rich or whatever it is, right? And I have to like I agree with Riley where like I feel like a barber might, I'm not sure, I don't have too much experience in this thing, right? But I feel like a barber might put himself into a corner where you have 20 clients that are all happy to pay you $400 a haircut, but you now only have 20 clients. And guess what? Every time one of those clients moves to another state, finds another barber, finds another friend group, does, I don't know, passes away or some shit like that, you just got to rely on these like tiny little group of clients. Like if you make your haircuts $100, you'll have way more clients. And then guess what? If some dude calls you saying, hey, I want you to cancel all your appointments for the rest of the day so you can cut my hair. Oh, yo, I have 6 appointments. That's $600. All right, here's $600. Boom, there you go. That's like $600 haircut, but 6 people got fucking canceled on or whatever it is. So like, would you do that though? Because then you ruin the relationship with those 6 clients. I don't know.
It's hard. I feel like if you're just starting, obviously like that's probably the move to do. Lower your prices a little bit so you're constantly getting new clients, new people that fuck with you, and growing your clientele like that. Like obviously people are gonna come and go. Yeah. Like when you're getting new clients, they're not all of them are gonna like love you
exactly
or like want to come back.
Some like your personality, like
it's
to talk
hard.
To you
it takes like a couple years to grow like a consistent clientele. It's not an easy job. But I do
keep
agree
their client base, like, close
that
to them.
Barbers should up their prices because I do know some guys be charging like $30, $40 a cut, and it's like, I mean, that's, I don't know. Now it's probably crazy because I think everybody's kind of learning their worth and upping their prices. Back in high school, like I feel like that was kind of.
But is that pulling up to your house? 30,
no,
40 bucks?
That's like you're pulling up to their house in the garage.
That's fair. I feel like
that's lit, right?
Yeah, I feel like that's fair.
And you can smoke and chill.
Is that how much you would charge in your garage?
Fuck no, girls are different.
But guys, I grew up all until I stopped going to this place, I swear, like 19, bro. But from the age of, my mom used to cut my hair by taking a bowl, putting it on my head, and just cutting around my head. And then around the age of 10, I started getting roasted, or like around 9 or 8, I started getting roasted real bad.
You would get a bowl cut?
Yes.
Literally a bowl cut.
Yes. It was my mom was just like, it was just like, we're poor as hell. So my mom was like, we're not going to spend $10-$20 for you to cut your hair. We're just going to boom, 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 line it up real quick and you're good. And they would literally take a fucking bowl, put it like that, and just cut around the bowl. And then at a certain point, I was getting roasted so bad for it. And I just told my parents, I was like, I'm not doing this anymore. I was like, I'm not doing this bowl cut. I'm like, it's getting bad. Like, people are roasting me too bad. I was like, I can't do this. And then my dad found this spot on, it's still there. The same lady I think is still there. It's on Olympic and like Crenshaw or some shit like that. It's this place that does $7 haircuts. And guess what? Not too long ago, when we were going to that Korean barbecue spot that's close to there, my favorite spot, we passed by it and I saw that their price was like $8 or $9. So they've gone up like $2 in like the past 10 years or some shit like that. But I literally went there from the age of like 10 to 19. I was just getting these $7 haircuts and it was chill. And she just gave me the old like cowlick every time. Yeah. And I was like chilling.
Well, that's what my dad would do too. My dad and Roman would go to that like $10 barber or something.
Bro, $7
That's crazy.
Every time. It was hella chill. And I've heard, like, I've told a couple friends about it, and they're like, bro, it has to be a front. They're like, there's no way they're making a profit. There's like, how are they making a profit at $7? And there's not like, there's like a line. You know, you go and it's like a walk-in plate. You can just walk in and be like, can I have a haircut? They're like,
exactly.
Yeah, sure.
They're excited.
Yeah, exactly. They're like juiced. They're like, yeah, fuck yeah, $7. But, you know, obviously we'd always tip and shit like that, like $3 or maybe, like make it a full, even 10. But, dude, yeah, like I would always just pay $7 for a haircut. So the idea of paying $100, it's like that means they had to pull up to your house. That's like you're paying for gas nowadays. Gas is expensive. But also, you know what I really feel like? I'm not sure how much this plays a factor in it, but I feel like there's probably like some barbers, newer barbers who are getting into it, saying this whole thing of, you know, get a famous clientele and you could charge all this money and all that stuff, right? And I feel like a lot of people will get the nice scissors, get the nice chair, get this, get that. And their skill level, their like appliances are like here, their skill levels here, and their prices are right here. It's like, if you're going to charge $400 a haircut, you should be able to do it like incredibly quick and like incredibly well. Where if like some other barber would take a look at it, they would be like, oh, that's probably took him an hour. You're like, nah, 30 minutes.
Right. Yeah, charge your worth.
Yeah, like that's why it's $400, because I literally can just cut your hair within 30 minutes. It's gonna look like it took an hour.
That's what I'm saying. It's like, you know, when you're entry level, like when I first started doing hair, I would definitely like do hookup prices. Like when I was going to school, I would do very low prices to practice on people, and like people would want to come see me, and I got hella clients. But that's like, it's the good thing, and then people keep continuing to see you because you're growing, evolving, getting your education.
But like, you know, the way money works,
but it comes and goes because some people didn't come back, you know, and then you have to keep reaching out to people and just hustling.
It goes off like you know, price goes off demand. You know what I mean? Like if you started off doing haircuts for your friends at $30, and the next thing you know, you're doing 10 hours a day at $30 a haircut. You're like, I want to work an 8-hour day instead of 10 hours. You're like, it's $40, guys. Now, boom, you get to work less, make the same amount of money, and then it's just like they have to charge. You know, then you might lose a couple clients, but you charge $10 more. Yeah. So from these, you think some barber out there is really trying to be like, I want to do one client a day, so I'm charging $1,000.
Hell yeah, I think that's everybody's goal probably.
Yeah, right. Just one client a day. But then also, how much practice are you getting in as an actual barber? If you're
that's when you're like senior level probably, you know, like when you're already that talented and you've put in all that work. Like you have to put in hella work as a hairstylist. It's definitely just a bunch of growing your skill. Like you just have to keep practicing, you know?
No, 100%. I forgot what barbershop it was, but I remember what streets it's on. I'll say it because I had two terrible experiences there. It's on La Brea and Fountain. It's very popular. It's like a barbershop right there on the corner. It's very popular. You're gonna pass by. You're gonna think, wow, so many customers. It's popping. It must, you know, be great, dude. I went in there 2 times. The first time, it was this dude who, while he was like cutting my hair, he wasn't really looking at my head the whole time. He was like either talking to someone, or even sometimes he would be pulling out his phone and doing shit while going like zzz, zzz, like I swear, and I was like thinking in my head, he must be so good that he's just able to do that. Like this is just his finesse, you know what I mean? I was like, all right, whatever. And then you know, I pay him. It's very expensive. It was like $40 or $50, way more than the 7 I was used to. And then I would go to my homies or like go hang out with my friends and shit, and they would be like looking at my head. They'd be like, your shit's hella uneven, Yuri. Like, some hairs are long, some hairs are short. They're like, they didn't even like buzz it correctly and stuff. Like, I'd be like, what the fuck? Like, I forgot the name of the spot. I was like, I went to this spot. Like, it's known to be popping and shit. They're like, nah, like your shit is fucked up. I went there again some other time, and the dude just like, okay, you know, I'm a weed smoker, I don't care, but this dude stunk like weed. Like, he had just finished a smoke session. I'm like thinking like, all right, cool vibes. Same thing, bro. I went home. One of my sideburns is here. One of my sideburns is here.
Hell no.
I was like looking in the mirror like, bro, like these fools are faded, bro. Like,
yeah, most of the time people in the salon are faded. I'm just saying that. But
if you're gonna be have the skill to back it up. Like, that was the last time I went there. I was like, dude, like I thought this place was good, man. I was like like both times I left there, I got a terrible haircut.
You gotta look at reviews, babe.
That's true.
Because you're getting the people who are available.
I'm not a reviews guy. I never look at reviews. I look at dude, I'm telling you, I've had so many experiences where my homie would take me to some random ass like Chinese food spot or like some random Mexican food spot or some shit like that where it just looks janky. To the eye, it might even have a C rating. To the eye, you're like, what the fuck? And he's like, bro, I'm telling you, this shit's fire. And I would try it out, and it's delicious, good, you know, well priced. Who knows why it has a C or B rating, but like, you know, shit's fire. And one of my favorite burger restaurants, like I literally went there randomly. Dude, it has like no customers ever. It's in the middle of buttfuck nowhere, and it's like, in my opinion, they make like the best burgers and shit like that. So it's just like, I bet you if you were to read the ratings, they'd be like terrible vibe, no ambience, you know, no music playing, guy was rude, like, you know, and you're like, oh, I'm not going there.
But if you're looking for people to do your hair or like nails or something,
Oh yeah, I guess.
you could look at the reviews and they'll be like, Riley was great, Yuri was horrible.
Have you ever done a thing? Well, have you ever had reviews?
Yeah.
You have?
Mm-hmm.
Were they good?
Yes.
Would you ever do a thing where you would tell a customer like, leave a good review and I got
Fuck
you on
no,
the highlight next?
I always felt weird, just like, I hate selling shit. Like, I always feel weird doing that. Or just telling people to, like, this is what you need to do. Like,
Drop a like, guys.
it feels uncomfortable for me because I'm like, nah, they really don't have to do this.
Yeah.
So I never told them, but it was a thing where we would have like a monthly meeting at our salon, and there would be a section of the meeting where they would read the Yelp reviews of the month, and you'd get like a little gift card for the salon if you got a review written about you.
Mm-hmm.
And I got one review once. I think it was one.
Good job, babe.
About me being a great assistant.
Hey, speaking of barbers and barberettes,
Cosmetologist.
remember Richie the barber?
Uh-huh.
So Richie is an interesting guy for sure, right? If you guys don't know him, Richie the barber, look him up. His face is completely tattooed like a clown. It's been like that for a long time. I've had a couple haircuts for him. I have a couple vlogs where I went to him to get a haircut. Super fun time, bro. Cuts your hair, cracking jokes the whole time. He gave me a couple shots. I probably took like 3-4 shots before I left for free, like on the house. Like you feel like you gotta tip him heavy.
Yeah, you pay for the experience.
Yeah, you're like paying for the experience for sure. But and like people think that like it's kind of like a novelty act, like, oh, just get your haircut from the clown guy. But when I was getting my haircut from him, I was like, ask him, I was like, how long have you been cutting hair? He's like, I've been cutting my hair my whole life since I was a kid. He's like, because my dad was a barber and my grandpa was a barber his whole life. Mm-hmm. So he's like, I'm 3 generations in of being a full-time barber. And I was like, that's cool. You know what I mean? Like, just because you're a barber doesn't mean you don't have to have some personality of your own, you know, like be into your own thing. It's like he's into punk rock and shit like that. Yeah. But either way, he did an interview on No Jumper as well. He was a streamer for a minute. He linked up with Ice Poseidon, I remember, as well. But I saw something on Instagram recently that he's become super faithful. Like he's like a born again Christian type thing. Okay. And it's interesting, like, you know, it's cool that like religion is like, you know, at least the religious place you went to, they're not scared, like be like, oh, this guy with all these crazy tattoos, like you're not and he has a split tongue, like they're like, you're not ready for Christ or whatever it is. But I saw a video where I think he was getting baptized or something.
Good for him. I mean,
just a random update.
Some people need that.
Well, like to be baptized?
No, to like just be like have some kind of faith to follow.
I feel like everyone has a faith to follow. Like just because I don't believe in God doesn't mean that I'm not like mystical. My whole life, guys, I've always tried to be like, you know, since a young age. Even when I was like being baptized, after I was being baptized, I remember thinking in my head like, dude, like there's no proof of God. I was always watching like, you know, fucking George Carlin. We're talking about that comedian, and like he would talk about that type of stuff, which is like just make fun of it. Like, bro, like what are you talking about? You commit suicide, then you see 70 virgins in heaven. Like, well, like that sounds ridiculous. Like, yeah, he would just talk about all these different religions, like how it doesn't make sense at the end of the day. You have to go based off reality, and what it seems like is you just die and you die. You know what I mean? So I've always kind of been like that, but I feel like, you know, the older I get, I'm not into God, but like I do. And also, I feel like it's after my shroom experiences for sure. But I really just feel like, you know, there is like some mystique behind, like an energy behind it, you know, for sure. Especially when I'm seeing like more and more, like, I don't know. I just like, I for sure believe in it.
Me too.
Doesn't mean I believe in God necessarily.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I feel the same way. I don't know what to believe, but I definitely think there's something. Mm-hmm. I don't know. There's definitely different energies and things happen for a reason, and miracles and all this random shit. There has to be like,
I feel like, well, some kind of, you don't even have to look for a miracle. It's like, just really think about what's going on right now. We're on a planet, right? We don't know anyone else that exists that's like us. We're on a planet in the middle of this place called the universe, full of a bunch of other planets and suns and all this stuff. And apparently, from our knowledge, we're the only one that exists of our kind. We know that the universe, like everything. If you just think about all the facts we know about the universe, you're just like, what? It doesn't even make sense. It sounds like a fucking like some dude on mushrooms like talking about some weird shit. You're like, what? Like ever expanding space that started from the size of an atom. Like, what are you talking about? But that's what we live in, apparently. You know what I mean? Like, it's not hard to think that things are mystical sometimes. You're like, bro, what?
Definitely
like,
is.
We all came from an atom? Like, what the fuck? Yeah, I don't know. Maybe we're just faded.
I think so too. That as well.
Either way, some random news, guys. This has been like a huge roller coaster the past
Of events.
week. Lil Tay speaks. I'm not dead.
Bro.
Okay, so I woke up, checked my phone one day, and I see Lil Tay has passed away.
Same. And
I
I'm
read-
just like,
Read the article because I always just I'm like,
what?
like,
Yeah.
I'm like, I've learned my lesson with the headline thing. I'm like, I always gotta read more, and I start reading more, and I see the thing that says, "Brother has passed away a week ago." We're so sad about Lil Tay, and I told Riley about it. I'm like, what the fuck? What's going on? Hour or two later, see a couple other posts saying jet ski accident. See another post saying some guy was there during a car accident, and he's actually apologized for it. Some dude came out saying, I was there. I saw Lil Tay and her brother get in a car accident.
God,
They passed
on
away.
TikTok or something?
No. He was like a part of like a news platform of some sort, and I think he got fired or some shit. Where he fired someone who gave him the information, but
Wow.
some dude claimed that he was there during an accident. They said jet ski accident. So as soon as all these different shit started coming out, I was like already getting suspicious. I was like, this is getting weird.
This is getting fishy. Yeah.
Now we start seeing more reports saying that apparently her dad is responsible, or maybe even her brother, but basically she's not dead. No. She said that her Instagram got hacked.
Yeah.
And apparently Facebook has came out, or the platform responsible has came out, and they said that we did help Lil Tay get her platform back, so she did get hacked. So they confirmed it for sure.
Okay.
I don't know. It's a whole roller coaster of events, but it like regardless if she's responsible or not, it's like a bad image on her. Everyone's gonna think of her like in a negative way now.
Yeah,
even more, you know.
But if she had no, what's the word?
Responsibility or
Yeah, I guess
doing,
I was gonna
don't
say
know.
no responsibility for the post. Why would people be hating on her if she really was hacked and somebody did it?
Well, like the thing with the news, I feel like for sure is not everyone's super tapped in or caring. Some people, like even my parents, I remember a long time ago when Lil Tay was viral, they would be telling me like, "Yuri, look at this crazy little girl," like blah blah, right? They might have even seen crazy little girl from back in the day passes away. They're not tapped in enough to know the whole. They didn't even know about the brother. They don't even know about all the other stuff that's happened. A lot of people might see the viral headline of she passes away and might not see the next, not as viral headline that, oh, she actually did not pass away.
Right.
So, some people out there might, or even if they do know that she's alive now, they might not even care to go deep enough to realize that she didn't cause it. They might just assume. I don't know. It's just bad luck on her in general.
Yeah, that's just not something to play with, obviously.
And I was surprised to see that she's like 15 now. I was like, she has to be like 18 or 19. But Riley's like, nah, she's like 15. And
She's
I was like,
14, I think.
I was like, dude, how old was she in those videos then?
She's like 8 or 9.
My niece is like 10 right now. I can't imagine my niece saying those things. I can't imagine telling my niece to say those things.
Fuck no.
Hey, go, bro. I can't imagine that. Like I thought she was already 14,
No.
and that, bro, that's younger than my niece doing the whole flexing thing. Like I can't imagine my niece doing that. That's crazy. That's what makes it more viral. Is like you're like, what? Like what the fuck?
Yeah, it's the wow factor.
Shock factor.
Yeah, the
for
shock
sure.
factor.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. But I'm glad, honestly. I don't care too much, really, honestly, like about her, like what's going on. But like, I'm glad to hear that
She's okay.
a person at the age of 14 or 15 didn't pass away.
Exactly.
It's like at the end of the day, that would just be bad. There's still a lot of growth and learning and shit to happen in a person's life after the age. You can go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
All right. While Riley's in the bathroom, I'm going to open up the chat really quick. Yo, shout out to everyone that's in here right now. Also, shout out to everyone that has dropped a like. We're at 105 likes right now, guys. If you guys want to support the channel, support the podcast in any way, easy, free way to support is to just drop a like. It somehow helps, just the channel grow and like other people be able to see it, and also it helps you get recommended all of our content as well. But someone said laugh my fucking ass off, they fried. Lil Tane, this bitch, my watch costs more than your rent. Bro, I can't imagine my 10-year-old niece saying that. She's like talking about Roblox and like you know, random, you know, viral YouTubers who are doing fucking unboxing videos. Like, bro, like I can't imagine her like running around with cash going, I got your rent in my pocket. Like, that's kind of insane. Also, yo, shout out to Ayazi in the chat, bro. Someone said the other day when I was doing the biking stream, they're like, bro, I think like 90% of the members in the chat, if they're a member right now or at one point were a member, they have Ayazi to thank, and I think that's for sure might be a fact right there. Ayazi has gifted and blessed a lot of people in the chat a membership, and one of the main benefits right now is you get to use the emotes basically. But yo, shout out to everyone that's in here. I appreciate you guys so much. LSD will change your life, Yuri. Stop sleeping. I'm scared to do LSD, and also technically, you know, people argue it is quote unquote natural. To me, it's unnatural since it's synthetic. I'm not doing mushrooms right now. I haven't done it over a year now, way over a year. But if I were to want to do a psychedelic, I would probably do mushrooms. Speaking of mushrooms, the last time Riley and I did it, which was like over a year ago, I thought that was it. I thought it was over. I thought we had used our whole supply, because we had literally at one point we got so, bro, Mr. Mushies was sending us shit like a long ass time ago. We had like a bunch of like supply of mushrooms, and I thought we were completely done with it. And the other day Riley was going through our tea cabinet and she said she found like more mushroom tablets, and I was like, oh my god.
I was like,
bro.
are these what I think they are?
They for sure are. Shout out to, I'm not sure if he wants me to say his name, but shout out to the homie. He had gifted me a bunch of mushroom tablets back in the day, and I thought we had gone through all of them, but I guess we still had a whole fucking baggie left. I don't know when the next time is that we're gonna use it, but
It'll have to be the right time.
yeah, for sure. We'll know.
We'll know when the time is right.
Yeah, exactly. But either way, yes, I'm glad Lil Tay is okay. All right. Did you see this news? Maybe we should maybe we should watch it together. Let's just let's talk about it, then we'll watch the clip together. But woman at massage parlor tried to give Christian man a happy ending without his consent, so he called the police and got her arrested for sexual assault so he can make it to heaven, quote unquote.
Oh my god.
And I read the comments, and like it's mostly a lot of the girls are going like W man, W Christian man, like let's go, like
Fuck no.
Lady try to
fuck no.
This is wild.
You don't think it's a W man?
This is just weird.
touch on me at a massage place and then refuse to give my money back.
This is in
She
LA?
going to jail. She
This
tried to
in
grab my
LA.
genitals. She going to jail.
He said she tried to touch my genitals. She going to jail. And at first he says she refused to give me my refund after touching me, so now I called the police on her. So apparently she touched him. He was like, yo, like what the fuck? Like, give my money back. She's like, no, I'm not giving your money back. And then he's like, I'm calling the cops for sexual assault. I didn't want a happy ending.
What
And they
the
wonder
fuck?
why Christians having a hard time making it to heaven. I stand for Jesus. This lady tried to...
Jesus.
I stand for Jesus.
W Christian man.
But
Yeah, I mean, good for him, I guess.
so the comments are basically 50-50 between W Christian man and let me know the address so I know not to go there.
Shut the fuck up.
Type shit. Honestly, that's crazy. It's like I was really having this type of like thought in my process of when Riley and I went to go get our couples massage, and we've talked about this many times already, where the girl, we went in, they took us in separate rooms. I thought it was gonna be the same room. They took us in separate rooms. The girl was crawling on my back, massaging my inner thighs, and I was like, bro, like, is this like a part of the massage? And remember, you said the same thing. You were like,
Yeah.
I wonder if Yuri's going through the same. I was having the same thought. I was like, I wonder, I remember thinking like, is Riley having the same experience I'm having? And I was literally thinking like, the moment she touches my like dick or testicles, like, like what is my appropriate reaction here? Obviously, it's not stay there. It's like, what do you mean,
Okay.
But it's like, is it like, yo, like
Christian man.
is it, hey, I'm not one of those. Can you just continue the massage? Or is it, hey, I'm out of here?
Yeah. You want to make it to heaven?
Or I'm going to go to heaven real quick if I stay in that room.
Ew, you're disgusting.
No, I'm saying you're going to kill me. Bro, every one of my jokes.
Oh my god. That sounded so wrong.
I meant to say you're going to kill me. Jesus Christ. Like, just like the other joke I made, you're like,
bruh.
I need to work on my jokes, I guess. But, like, would I have to call the police? You know what I mean? Like, would I go out?
Yes.
We would call the cops?
No, we wouldn't call the cops, but fuck that bitch.
We would just leave? I would be like, babe, she tried to touch my dick.
She tried to touch my testicles. You said that. Testicles.
Okay. What should I have said? Nuts?
Yes.
Juicy Russian nuts? Alright, whatever, never mind. But either way, I hope that guy
Damn, that's wild.
He's getting the fucking express pass to heaven.
Well, it is in LA.
Well, it says 626 area code for the phone number. What is 626?
I don't know.
I thought that was like some...
But I saw the billboard outside, and that looks like an LA billboard.
How do you... You can tell the difference between billboards?
Yeah.
Alright. We need that dude we were watching the YouTube video earlier where he can tell off the background of like where things are. But all right, guys, some viral news that has came out recently is the fact that a love letter Barack Obama wrote in the 1980s. This fucking love letter is 43 years old, bruh. That shit is crispy as hell. To his ex-girlfriend saying, "I make love to men daily, but in the imagination." And I think he said like in my head is going viral. So
so this lady just exposed him now?
I don't think she exposed them maliciously. I forgot what it was. She had wrote some sort of... Okay, she had already released these documents, right? But she had a part of the documents blurred. And everyone was always like, what's the blurred part? What's the blurred part? That's weird. What's the blurred part? Now that it's been many years since he's been president, I guess she's decided to unblur the part of the documents she released a long time ago. These have already been released. Like, I guess this part was just blurred, but now people saw that he said, I make blah, 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 whatever. Yeah, all that stuff.
Do you think it could be possibly like photoshopped and maneuvered?
Okay, you see, here's the thing is like, if we get into that conspiracy theory, we would have to like dive deeper. I don't know who the lady is. I don't know what the photos look like, all that stuff. But the fact that it made it this far into the news, I'm only assuming that we would have seen that, like, you know, some other type of like small writing saying, who knows where this came from, just a weird document. It's been released. I think Flacco made a video about it where like these are old confirmed documents. It's been unblurred now. So yeah, maybe it could have been photoshopped. I don't know. Maybe this is fake. But I remember when Barack Obama was first like running for president, and a long time ago, I was like smoking my homie and we're like talking about it. And I guess my homie who's like super invested in it, and he was like actually like doing research and reading all these articles and shit. And when Barack Obama was either became president or he was trying to become president, he released like a diary or a manifesto or some shit like that, where like it was like about his life, right? And in that thing, he admitted to partying, smoking weed, doing cocaine, doing a bunch of stuff. He like admitted to a bunch of shit, and I don't know, like it seemed like he was like a party animal of some sort. And that's the 1980s. Remember we were watching that shit about that artist from the 80s, from New York. What's his name? God damn it. Fuck, what's that like?
Andy Warhol.
Andy Warhol. There you go. Oh shit. Yeah, Andy Warhol.
Yeah.
That, you know what I mean? Like, it's like if you watch the Andy Warhol documentary, they make the 80s sound like a fucking weird sex playground where everyone was just like wild as fuck. If Obama's from the 80s doing cocaine and weed, it's not crazy to assume like he might have been a part of these like crazy orgies or sexcapades, you know?
No, he probably was.
That's insane.
But this is crazy.
Yeah.
Just, I don't know.
Just what?
It's his past. Just let him be.
Yeah. And then what was that actress that we were just on? We saw the clip
Joan
of?
Rivers.
Joan Rivers, R.I.P. I didn't know she passed away, but
yeah, you didn't know that.
I think it was in the Flacco video that he showed that, or maybe it was like some other video where they were talking about this shit, and they were like, you know, this information isn't new. Joan Rivers said this a while ago, but Joan Rivers went above and beyond. Maybe she started the conspiracy theories because, you know, there's these conspiracy theories that about Michelle Obama and her. gender and all that stuff, whatever it is. And Jonah River, she was just like, she's like, of course Barack Obama's gay. Look at his wife.
And Flacco did bring up a good point where he was behind the legalization of gay marriage.
Yeah, but also like
It's just a funny coincidence.
He was behind it at that time where it like would help him get the votes in from the Democratic people, from the liberals, all that stuff.
It's
like,
a funny
I'm pro gay
coincidence.
marriage. Apparently, I saw something about how Barack Obama, when he first entered politics, his thing was he was more towards a normal, not normal, but like what's the word,
Neutral,
like conservative relationship, where he was always saying like, you know, he wasn't extremely against gay marriage, but he was saying that like it's better to be in a heterosexual relationship. Like he would always be pro husband wife type thing. And then once he ran for presidency, he was like, oh, now I'm pro gay marriage, because he's trying to get elected. I don't know.
Well,
either way, speaking of Poetic Flacco, this next post is actually from his Instagram. Shout out to Poetic Flacco. This is insane. Lil Durk concert shot up. You can see bullet holes as big as the Grand Canyon in cars parked near the arena. The ops brought out the rocket launchers with switches. Sheesh. And I've seen some other news happen or come out about how, yes, this concert did get shot up from the outside, and apparently while it was being shot up, all the security and the staff were like telling all the attendees like, stay inside, like, you know, hide under your seat or whatever it is. It kind of turned to mayhem real quick. And a bunch of people just started looting. A bunch of people
started stealing all the merch.
All the merch and
that.
shit, and it just turned into a whole shit show. And some people were like upset about it. Some people didn't care. Some people were happy about it. And I guess I was like wondering, what is Lil Durk gonna say about this? It's his merch. It's his money at the end of the day that's being lost. And he said everyone who stole merch, like, tag me
in a picture. Or
yeah, tag me in a picture.
Yeah, I saw that.
So he seems to not care. But what I was gonna say is
that's so scary.
I know.
Wait, so this was outside though, not inside.
Apparently,
near the arena. Okay.
Yeah, near the arena. It was like, I think it was like right outside, or maybe in the parking lot or some shit. But what I was thinking immediately is like, you know, obviously Lil Durk with his lyrics and, you know, the Chicago background and all that stuff is people will with any, like, you know, gang rapper, I guess you can, I know I think he's like denounced the gangbang and all that stuff at this point, maybe, I'm not sure, but with all like the gang rapping shit, people always say like it's hard to get booked into an event because they're like, we don't want to risk this place getting shot up, like we don't want to risk the customers, we don't want to risk like money, all that stuff, like it might ruin your opportunities to get booked at certain venues because the venue doesn't want to deal with the liability, right? So I'm wondering if, like, you know, with situations like this, is he worried about it? Like, bro, like maybe the next venue might be like, bro, we don't want a Lil Durk concert here because they might come back here and shoot the, you know, our customers' cars and shit. So
that definitely has to be a concern.
Yeah.
Especially when it makes like big headlines like these, where like, you know, like everything's just like so viral and public.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think a lot of different companies are quicker to tap out.
Yeah,
or
for
like
sure.
Not work with you.
Unless he goes like out of the country. You know what I mean? Like does a performance like I don't know, in other places. But honestly, I was really thinking about that, and I feel like this could just be a one-off incident. If your quote unquote ops really want to fuck with your bag and your you know what you're doing for a living and shit like that. Imagine they did that at every one of the places you did a performance at, and then you're like, I just can't perform now. That's it. And it's like, it's ruining your money for the year, all that stuff. And it's like, what can you do about it, really? That's hire a bunch of like, how big of a like circle can you secure? You know what I mean? Like, then you have to worry about the outside of that circle that's not secure. I don't know, bro. Like, it could be so insane, but you just have to worry about like how motivated or like determined the ops are against ruining your bag, I guess. This could just be like a one-off incident. It could not even involve Lil Durk.
Yeah.
It could even just be like an argument outside.
Yeah, between the fans or whatever.
Yeah, like some dudes in the parking lot and they're just like, you know, had guns on them or some shit. You don't even know that this even involves.
That's what I feel like it probably was.
It could not even have been towards him.
Yeah.
Because I don't even think that's his car.
No. I think it was just like something outside popping off.
Yeah. I guess I was thinking more of like a conspiracy theory of, you know, what if someone's trying to ruin his bag or some shit. But
yeah.
Speaking of conspiracy theories, it just reminded me of, but I'll get into it later. But first off, I just want to give huge prayers out to Maui. right?
Yes.
Maui, Hawaii, because I think a lot of people have heard about it already, but dude, like, that shit is insane. Like, I feel like maybe we would not have even been this invested if we had not visited Hawaii, but after visiting and realizing how beautiful it is and how, like, you know, it's like it should be preserved and like taken care of the way it is, like, and just kept, you know, it's like it's a super nice place that like I would love to go visit back. And we've definitely kept up with some random local news about Hawaii ever since, and I feel like that's why we know about this and have been watching so many videos. But a huge part of the main strip of Hawaii has like completely burned down. It's like a huge neighborhood too.
Yeah.
And when Riley and I went to Hawaii, we went to Kona, Hawaii, which is the big island. And apparently, like, you would expect the big island to be the popular one, but it's the least popular one. Like,
yeah.
Maui and Oahu and the other,
Kauai.
yeah, Kauai. Like the smaller islands are even. It's not really small. They're still gigantic islands, but the smaller islands are the more popular ones. But yeah, we went to the big island Kona, and Kona did have, you know, a giant strip where it was kind of like, you could say it's like the Hollywood Boulevard. It's right next to the ocean. That's where you're gonna find all the souvenir shops, all the stores, maybe even some old stores that have been there since the beginning of the island, and they're like, yo, we've been here for, you know, 80 years, 70 years, like selling surfboards or whatever it is and shit like that. So you'll see a lot of history, a lot of businesses and shit like that, and a lot of that is what got burned down. Obviously, there's probably like houses nearby as well. A lot of houses got burned down.
Billions dollars worth of property.
$6 billion I saw apparently, and
Yeah.
also
It's just so devastating to like see such a green place. Like when you go to Hawaii, everything around you is so lush and green, and now it looks like post-apocalyptic.
so that's
It just looks gray, and
that was like the
Wow.
thing I wanted to bring up about the whole conspiracy theory thing, right? Is without even seeing this video, Riley and I were talking about it because we've been into Hawaii, right? And dude, even on the hottest day, all the plants, everything's just so full of moisture. It's always so humid there that if you even lighting a joint, bruh, would be
it was like
fucking
impossible.
hitting a joint. Like, we would constantly have to relight it, and then guess what? By the time you're halfway with the joint, you're like you can't even hit it because it's just full of fucking moisture. Like, we were dealing with this all the time. Like you said, it was affecting your hair and all that shit. It's a very, very humid, moist place. So I can't imagine, you know, once a huge fire is going, I could see it like continuing, but it's like kind of like, you know, difficult, I feel like, to have a fire going there, dude, because
Yeah.
it's just such a humid place, really. Especially like a little ember or something like that. But I saw this post where it was like this Hawaiian dude who like lives on that island, and he's like, guys, like, he's like, I've been on this island for like, you know, like for 20-30 years or some shit like that, and he's like, I just find it strange that like during a hurricane a fire starts. He's like, usually when we have hurricanes, he's like, we have flooding or, you know, like something involving water or some shit like that. He's like, and a hurricane is just like usually bringing like rain and stuff like that as well. So he's like, it was kind of strange that like a fire started, but also if a fire starts and there's tons of wind pushing the fire and the embers everywhere, you could easily see that shit spreading. But he was like, and he wasn't on this full conspiracy theory thing where he's like, this is exactly what's happening, but he was just like, this is kind of fucked because he's like, a lot of the families that own these properties, they've been holding off on selling the properties. Like there's huge businesses that are offering them millions and millions of dollars, like, please let me get this property off you. They're like, no, because I want to keep it in the family. I want to keep it a Hawaiian family. Like, this is our native island. We want native people to own this property and shit like that, benefit off the tourism and all that shit. And he was saying like, dude, that a lot of these families here were holding off for a long time. That's one of the most popular islands. And he's like, now all their shit's burned down. They might not have the money to rebuild. They're probably going to have to sell the land or get investors to build them new shit, all that stuff. And he's like saying, bro, like, it's just kind of suspicious to me that the most fucking poppin' area, it's the whole strip of all the most poppin' stores, you know, that it's all burned down now, you know. And it's hella fucked up. And I think I saw some report where it says that still 1,000 people are missing, unaccounted for.
Yeah.
The death toll is at 93 or something, like around 90, which is insane, but there's still 1,000
Over 1,000.
over 1,000
probably.
people unaccounted for. They haven't no one spoke to them yet, so you can only imagine that the death toll could potentially go even higher.
Yeah, it just looks ridiculously smoky. It's a small island. Like, Even the island we went on, the big island, it was still small. You
Yeah,
know, getting
that's
across
true.
the island was like 2 hours.
It took 2 hours to drive from one side to the island,
So
and
I
that
can
was the
only
big
imagine
island.
how small Maui is compared to that.
That fire probably affected the whole island,
Dude.
for sure, instantly.
Ugh, and we just watched another news thing today, and it was just like these two local girls just looking at everything, and they just start crying. You could just like feel them, honestly. Like,
I can't.
I don't know.
dude.
It's just like, I don't know. The
can't
people
imagine.
there, they're like, the locals there have such a different vibe where they really like respect and appreciate where they come from.
You could, and I was telling Riley, you could imagine that. I'm not sure exactly, but I could imagine that on the strip right there, they probably might have a museum, or they might have a store that has
Exactly.
like a relic item that's behind a display case. That's, you know, and if you look, like everything's melted and charred to the floor. So like, not just you know, socks and sunglasses are
history.
burned, but like there's probably tons of history that's gone. The buildings have been there for 100+ years, or you know, around 80 years or some shit like that. So
Yeah.
it's super fucked up. And dude, like we were also watching some videos where that's another one of the things that the dude talked about, the conspiracy theory, is they have warning systems for things like this. There's supposed to be alarms that go off, and apparently none of the alarms went off either.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And if you look up on the news, that's one of the things that a lot of the news is covering, is why didn't the alarms go off? Why were people unaware of the fire and stuff like that? And apparently it's because the fire had damaged the electrical system, and because the electrical system was down, the alarms didn't go off. Shit happens, right? But I feel like you would expect something, you know, like a protocol to be there to like
warn the people, yeah.
or like obviously if there's gonna be a fire,
Attack,
if there's
like
gonna
the
be
emergency message.
if
or
there's gonna be a
something?
fire, right, and you have a fire emergency message, maybe the wires that go to the fire emergency message should be fireproof.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, because if there's like, then it ruins the point of the fucking thing or some shit like that. So that's where they're making it sound like the fire caused it not to work. But
It make no sense.
wouldn't the system be set up to be fire resistant if it's there to warn you for a fire,
Yeah.
right? Like, I don't know,
You
but
got a point there.
um,
But also Greece too has been having fires.
Those-
Why are the two places we've been to?
oh my god,
That's so creepy and weird.
leftover spliffs. No, I'm joking.
I know,
I told Riley
my
that
God,
I
it
saw
comes
some reports
back.
about the Greece thing, where a lot of like climate activists have been talking about how like, look at Hawaii, look at Greece, look what's going on with all these fires. But apparently the Greece authorities have came out saying that 80% of the fires have been started by human hand, like people throwing a cigarette out the window or kids fucking around or some shit like that. So a lot of the fires, it's really dry, so fires spread rapidly. For sure, the climate is affecting the effect of the fires because it's so dry, but it was started initially by like a human hand.
Yeah.
But I was gonna say, yeah, with the Hawaii thing, we were watching a video where this dude was saying that he was driving in a car with his family, his wife and 3 kids, and he said that like he couldn't drive anywhere. There was so many flames that they had to literally just get out the car, run to the ocean, and swim out, grab onto a piece of wood, and hang onto the wood, and it was a hurricane too. So I was watching some of the videos. The water wasn't like chill. The water was like hella crazy wavy. Like, people could have easily drowned. I can't imagine a grandma keeping herself afloat in the fucking hurricane water. Like, bro, it looked insane.
I know, and you could see the trauma in that guy's face.
Dude, yeah.
Because he was like, I almost like lost my kids a couple of times, and like he was just like so choked up about it.
One of his kids was a baby.
That just sounds like, yeah, that just sounds so scary to even just trust yourself enough, like, look, we got to do this, and put your whole family like that out there. Like, oh my God, it's like, that's like the thing where it's so amazing they all came back together, you know.
That's
that weird miracle.
Yeah, but
I
that's
don't like to say miracle, but
that's what we were talking about with the alarms too, is like if you're on this island, right, and you hear these alarms, and you know that when you hear these alarms it's a fire, so maybe you should evacuate.
Yeah.
But if you hear no alarms and maybe you just smell some fire, or you look out your window or outside, you see a little flame, you might not immediately assume the danger level or how severe the fire is. You might just think it's like an isolated event that's not affecting you because the alarms haven't gone off, you know. But so a lot of these people probably were literally just chilling, not even chilling, probably just waiting, or like thinking like, this is not going to come to me, but not realizing half the town is already burning. I need to get out now type shit. So I don't know, that's a scary ass event, dude.
yeah.
And also, like, dude, Hawaii doesn't have a lot of resources. It's like they have like
It's really hard to get shit out there.
yeah, it's small. It's a small place. That's the one thing I had to like realize when we were out there is like you get all these normal city comedies, you know, like well, what's the word for it? Is word for it? I forgot. But you get all these normal city things like you get to go to 7-Eleven and get snacks, and you know there's a grocery store. All that it seems normal, right? But you quickly realize like yeah, like if a catastrophe happens, there's one road that's a 2-lane road. A traffic jam can easily happen. There's not a lot of you know resources as for the hospitals. Imagine if everyone on the island, like during COVID, they were quickly overran the hospitals because there's 2 hospitals in the whole island, and then everyone's sick. It's just like, what are you gonna do? You know, like the resources are really small. You know what I mean? And then also, if we want to help them, it's a 5-hour plane ride to help them.
Exactly.
What are you gonna do?
I just hope they recover faster than they think they are, and I hope everybody could like
They said
find some sort of trace of their family for obviously their family being safe, but
yeah,
just for some closure too.
That's the main hope, is that people can actually get reunited with their families, because you don't know how many people, you know, might have been taken to a random, you know, beach on the island and then even taken to another island. You know what I mean? You don't know, like those hurricane waters, riptides, all that shit. That's the other thing you have to worry about. Nighttime riptides. There's sharks in the water, animal life, bro. There's so much shit
There's so much.
Yeah, variables out there for a situation like that. It's a crazy situation. I've been seeing so many other reports saying that like nothing has happened, or a fire or a catastrophe like this hasn't happened in over 100 years in the United States. It's insane, bro. And also, I'm not sure if their electricity and internet is still on, but I saw something like a day or two ago, I think yesterday, saying their electricity and internet is still off. So even if you're on that island, like you can't even use your phone.
Yeah.
We saw some report about this couple where this girl's boyfriend was on the island. She was off the island, and she said during the whole fire, because the phones were off, she's like, I was calling him the whole day, and the whole day his phone just went straight to voicemail. So you're thinking like
The worst.
the phone is melted.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like the phone is destroyed, and she was saying that like she was really thinking like my boyfriend's dead. Like I'm not gonna see him anymore. And then she was surprised to see that like, holy shit, like he's here, but
here.
it's just the internet and the phone is down. But she
Yeah.
literally flew over there, I think, to fucking make sure he was okay.
Yeah.
Would you have done that for me?
Fuck yeah, that's so scary.
You would fly to the burning island?
I think she was there. I think she lived on the island.
Would they let you fly there right now? Probably.
No, I don't think they would, but I think she lived on the island.
Oh, you
I don't
think so?
She,
But she
I
was
think
just,
she
like,
was at work or something.
Far away from
yeah.
him? Oh, okay. Either way. So
Because they would not be allowing people to come on there.
I saw they were allowing people to leave.
Yeah.
And people were filming out their window of the whole fucking place burning. Jeez, man. And like, yeah, like Riley says, like you go through Hawaii, and as like the Big Island, we were driving through it, for sure. Yes, there were some deserty parts where it looked hella crispy and dry straws and stuff like that, but the beachy areas, bro, right next to the beach, everything's so moist, bro. Like all the plant, like I can't imagine lighting a fucking plant on fire out there. I'm not saying it can't happen. Obviously it can fucking happen, but
Plus it rains all the time too.
yeah, it rain like literally every day, at least like a little drizzle. You know, that's the other reason why everything's so humid and moist constantly, just because there's always constantly a little drizzle or some shit. But dude, yeah, like the videos are just literally insane to see. You don't even know what to say other than like, you know, I hope for the best, and I hope people can get reunited with their families, because there's really like, what can we do, you know?
Nothing.
Maybe, I'm sure there might be some sort of donation things out there where you can maybe like donate some money out to them. I think I did see some surfboard company, some like professional surfers and surfboard company went out there with a bunch of diapers and water bottles, and they were handing them out to people, because you know, obviously they love surfing out there, so they're like, how are we not going to help out the people of the island that we surf on all the time and shit like that? So you know, some people are definitely helping, and there might be some resources out there that people could tap into for sure as well. But yeah, you guys should check that shit out. It's super heartbreaking and fucked up. Either way, I think that just about covers everything that we're going to talk about today.
Yeah.
Guys, tomorrow with the Monday stream, maybe we could like do some planning right now during the after show. My butt does feel a little bit better. Maybe we could do some planning during the after show. I was also thinking, I don't know how expensive it could be. I don't want to spend like literally over $30-40, but I was thinking maybe my seat that I have is like a Brooks saddle. It's actually like it's known to be a nice seat, right? It's so uncomfortable though. So I'm like really thinking, bro, I'm ready just to go grab a fucking Ross seat. Like I'm ready to grab like just some cushiony, weird little, like a BBL seat like type thing, just so I can sit there and like bike all day and not worry about it. I think I could do the initial plan potentially, but what I'm scared of is tapping out on the audience, is tapping out and telling the chat, guys, my ass hurts too bad. Like,
well, then you have to do
this.
some kind of punishment. That's the only way out.
No. Why would you bring that up? Okay, maybe we could agree on a punishment after this, but it's either that the biking stream with you guys setting me back with a punishment if I don't complete it, or
some sort of
the dollar minute outside, where the dollar minute outside is like I can chill at a park.
That terrifies me.
I'm really thinking that I would have to just conserve my energy, and then once it hits midnight I just start biking from down the boulevard, around Melrose, I don't know, around the boulevard, Beverly Hills. I could even just, once it hits midnight, I'm like, fuck it, I'm going to Venice. I could just bike it to Venice.
That might even be sketchy.
Yeah, Pollard said not to go to Venice. I don't know. Wait, let's prove Pollard wrong and hang out at Venice at
Proving
midnight.
that Venice is not as it seems.
I run into Bobby.
Oh,
He's like, what are you doing? Give me your bike.
Thought you were here. I smelled you, critter.
All right, you want to take a shot to end this off?
Sure.
Or should we take one in the beginning of the after show?
We can end it off.
All right, let's end this off with a little shot skate. And also I'm going to open up the chat as well so we can see what you guys are saying. All the Maui women trying to fuck up my birthday? Wait, what? What the fuck? Jesus Christ. Skater girl is in Venice. Pray for Hawaii. No, facts. There it is. Yeah, prayers for Hawaii, bro. Jeez, man. Like literally the videos are it's literally unreal. There's videos where I've seen more of the videos I've seen are people driving and they're just driving through the flames and they're showing what's going on. One of the most fucked up videos we saw was this family. The car was packed, honestly.
Yeah, this was fucked.
The family, like the car was packed. There was a person in every seat. There might have even been like additional, like it might have been squished in there. They're driving through a bunch of flames and they literally see a woman like on the floor. She could have even been alive still, but she was just on the floor in the smoke. And the dad was like, oh man, like should we pull over? And like I think it was the son or like one of the other dudes in the car was like, Dad, like we can't do anything, like we just have to go, like. And like they just like kept going and I was like, bro, that's so fucked up. I can't imagine.
It was devastating. That was
that would haunt me.
Seriously, that shit looked so sad. Because I feel like she was
alive still.
Alive. But it, like I was telling Yuri, like it was so smoky and flamey. Like if they were to open their doors, all that smoke would go inside their car and they would not be able to open their windows or
see or breathe, or like they could even fall unconscious because of the lack of oxygen. I don't know.
It's like that's the tough.
It's like the Cold Equation.
That tough moment.
Movie, or
survival
old
moment.
book where it's just like, what are you gonna do? Like spare the life of one person or spare the life of 5? You're like, fuck.
I know.
I don't know what to do.
Sad.
Crazy situation.
Okay, so depressing.
I know. But honestly, I was really thinking about it. I was like, dude, I feel like if we had not made our trip to Hawaii, we would not have been as invested. We were watching when the volcano exploded, and we were like keeping track of that. And we've been talking to Elvis, and I've like talked to Abdul here and there. And honestly, it's like I should tap in with Abdul and be like, bro, like,
how is it?
He probably for sure at least sees it or smells it or something like that. Like he's not that far away.
You could see it from the island.
I don't think is that
That's Maui,
Oh my god, you could probably see it from the island. That's crazy, man. Either way, prayers to Hawaii. Appreciate everyone who watched this show. Thank you guys so much. If you guys can, drop a like,
drop a comment,
saying anything you want.
Subscribe if you haven't already.
And also, if you guys are able to, obviously if you can't, you just can't. But if you're able to, see if there's like some sort of like, I'm sure there is. Like type in like Maui donation or something like that, and something will pop up to help the people out there. Because I did see a video of some dude saying he's like, we're getting no help out here, like we're getting no support and shit like that. So I feel like they definitely
Help
need it.
if you can.
Yeah, help if you can. Cheers, guys.
Cheers.
All right, peace everyone.
Peace.
Let's see if we can do this transition smoothly, and we'll see you guys for the after show in like 5-10 minutes basically. So peace, guys.
Better hurry, spark it up with no worries. Harmonious gang with the big bro Yuriy. Hyphy, get lit just like me. Big bossed up, chop it up with Riley. You better come with it.